Yo, my name's C5 from Oakland, California, and I'm hanging out on Front Row Live.
All right, man. Congratulations with the new album, Swimming With A Pisces. And you went deep with this one. You got a little more vulnerable for your audience. And it's something that, we don't get too much of in the hip hop rap world. So like, talk to me, or R&B world. So talk to me a little bit about like that creative process for this album, and like how were you able to get comfortable in, opening up to your audience the way that you did?
I just feel like, like in previous projects, I was putting out stuff that wasn't really like, it wasn't doing nothing for me, and I was looking for external validation instead of, being true to myself and speaking on what I really want to speak on. I was just listening to what people was telling me I was supposed to do. And so on this one, man, I wanted to take a different approach. And I feel like we lack vulnerability in music. We lack that type of music that I put out on this album. So like, but people appreciate that more, and it's timeless music. So, we all turning up, you feel me? Like that's always gonna happen. But we also got our like people going through more shit than, you feel me, like happy than being happy type shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of the approach I took on this one.
Absolutely. And these 16 tracks, I feel like when you listen to this record, like you have to listen to them in the order that they are. So for you personally, like how much of a challenge was it to figure out the track listing for the album, and how important was the track listing for you?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. At first, it was a whole different track list, and then probably like the day before I submitted it to turn my project in, we changed the project. We changed the track list. At first, I had it like sectioned. It was like the street and like the street joints was first, or like, and then it was like I had the female joints, and then the motivational joints was last. But like that track list matter, like that shit really matters. So I like how we came together. Me and the team came together, and we switched it around. And I'm very happy with how we constructed the playlist now, and how it plays. It's smooth. It still gets the story across. Yeah. So
for you personally, with the writing process, like where do you feel like you were kind of challenged the most? Like with like either particular songs or like certain types of topics that you were talking about, like where do you feel that challenge was?
Usually my process on this one, it was kind of different. So a lot of the songs I would like lay a hook down, and like I'll be in a mode. Like when I make music, it's all about the feeling, the space I'm in at the time, most like 9 times out of 10. And so I would be in that space. I like lay a hook down, and then usually like the verses is what like I take the most time on, like cause like my songs are very conceptual, and I want the verse to match the hook and the whole song to tell the story. So like I'll lay the hook down and just go ride to the hook and just write my verse in my head. So everything went pretty smooth. You feel me? Like it wasn't nothing that really was like too challenging. Like I was just being true to myself and literally just speaking what I felt, and it just flowed out fluidly.
Do you feel like because you were being honest and just being yourself, like do you feel like that made it a lot easier for this album compared to your previous work to kind of just flow out and just write what you needed to write?
Facts. And it felt better when I put it out. I'm releasing those things. The things I'm talking about. It's release. It's like therapy for me. Like I could let go of it now. So yeah, definitely. And I'm more like confident in the project. Like it's crazy. I've never felt like this before. I've always been confident in my projects, but like this one is it hit different. It's like I feel it, and the people feel it because I feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that, it is your therapy. Like I've had a lot of artists that, talk about whenever they're writing something so vulnerable, something so honest to themselves, like it is, like you mentioned, it is a therapy process, but at the end, like they just feel so emotionally and mentally exhausted just because, you know, they finally had an avenue to kind of open up about such matter that they hadn't talked about before. So did you have any moments like that during the writing process where you just felt like, man, like a weight just got lifted just because I wrote that track?
Yeah, nah, yeah, that's therapy. Like weight was lifted off for sure. For sure. It was released for me. Released for sure. So yeah, I definitely felt like that. Like it wasn't I didn't feel exhausted after making the song. Like I felt liberated. Yeah, I felt free from that and I can move on. Yeah. It's like I'm expressing myself.
Right.
Yeah.
So as far as like the team, your production, like who are these producers that you kind of collaborated with, and why did you feel they were so crucial to this project?
So to be honest, on this one, I kind of like I was reaching out to like it's a lot of different producers on this one, and I was reaching out to like even like YouTube producers like this, like because I always stick to my, you know, same key producers, but I had a specific sound that I was going for, and I didn't want to compromise that, so I reached out to multiple producers. It's over 10 producers on here for sure, and most of them I never worked with, so yeah, and I felt like, yeah, I had to do that for this one to get that sound. I had a specific sound I was going for that I hadn't been doing on previous projects, so I had to work with a lot of new producers.
Now, because you had so many different producers, like how were you able to keep this project still sounding cohesive? Because if you were to tell me it was just one producer, like I'd completely understand. But 10 producers, like that must be tough to keep it so like as cohesive as it is now.
Yeah, I think it came together. It's definitely cohesive. I don't know, man. It's just the universe was working for me, man, and it just all worked out for real. Like I can't even really. It wasn't calculated or nothing like that. It's just it just all worked out. It all felt right, and yeah.
Now, aside from like your tracks, you also had some incredible like features throughout this album, and and it's like I feel like these particular artists that you had feature on were also very crucial to this project. Like you couldn't have just had anybody else. Like it had to be these people or these artists. During this recording process with these artists, which one of these features do you feel kind of challenged you or helped you become a better artist?
I ain't gonna lie. So Wish You the Best. That song was probably like that one was that was the most constructive song, and like I took the most time on that song because like first initially it was just me on the hook, so it was me on the hook and I did the verses. Then like I wasn't really feeling that hook, so I had I had somebody else do a hook, and then like the hook was good. My boy O'Henry, I mean he did the hook. The hook was there. It was good, but I felt like it needed more feeling. So then I had Adrian Marcel do the hook, and I felt like watching him do it and do his stacks and all his runs, like that really taught me something about music. And then after at the end of his part, at the end of the song, I was still able to throw in like Henry on the end, like and make his initial hook a bridge. So like that, how that song came together was crazy. Like that had the most construction done to it for sure. So I feel like that song taught me a lot. Like you can how many times like I remade it and revamped it, and like how it came out. Like you got to take time with music sometimes too. You can't rush it. So yeah, I would say that song, working with those two.
That's dope, man. Like I mean, all 16 tracks are incredible. So congratulations
with
this album. And lastly, to close us off, like for you personally, what would you love your audience to get out of listening to this new album, Swimming with a Pisces?
Like I've said before, I want them to know that, you know, it's all right to be vulnerable. You know, vulnerability is beautiful, and that's the only way you grow, through vulnerability. You feel me? If you be accountable and aware of things, and you gotta speak on them to make change. Yeah, like being vulnerable is beautiful, man. That's really what I want people to take out. And we all going through shit, and it's all right. You don't gotta be embarrassed to talk about your experiences. you know, people connect with that. I did it for me, and it's just like it's like the icing on the cake that people can connect to it. That's like that's just a plus. So yeah, so it did something for me, which was the initial goal, and it's even greater that it could do something for other people.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations with the record, and thank you again for taking the time, man.